DC native, graduated from Hayford College, where he played baseball, captained the basketball team, eventually played overseas, got a master's degree from Stanford University School of Education. He played for the Clippers in England. However, no, he won some championships, so don't laugh too loud. He's got a championship ring or two. But Jeremy is a great person. I met Jeremy when I first started with PCA, and he was one of my trainer mentors. And he's a tough act to follow. A lot of the speakers at PCA are. And he had this way about him when he was at his school, and I could see in him that he had this passion for youth and a passion for sports. But I think listed here probably is one of his second greatest accomplishments, because he is a father of three, about to be three, so we like that. But here's what he did. In 1996, Jeremy co-founded the SportsChallenge Leadership Academy. He now serves as the executive director of the SportsChallenge. That's a great program that impacts young people and talks about leadership and skills, and I've watched when he went off on his own and now has grown and grown, and very proud to even know Jeremy and call him a friend of mine. So I'll come to the mic right now as Jeremy to speak to you. Okay, let's rewind. It is November of 1986. I'm a junior in high school, and my basketball team is stacked. We have 8 seniors on the squad. We have 4 guys 6'6" or bigger. We have an all-conference point guard who had transferred in from DeMatha. We're ready to roll. 3 months later, we end the season tied for last place at 6-17. We didn't trust each other. We didn't even like each other. We didn't support each other. So we fast forward. A year later, it's my senior year in high school. We've lost the bulk of our team. We've lost 8 seniors. We have nobody over 6'5" now. Our all-conference guard has graduated. We go 16-7, go to the conference championship game. Radically different experiences, radically different expectations. The big difference, I was going to water it all down, related to the positive energy that existed in that second group. We started fresh, culture changed, we really looked to support each other no matter what was happening. I often ask kids, if we were to look at your benches during a contest, during a game, could we tell if you were winning or losing? So think about that for a second. Imagine what your bench looks like during a competition. Your coaching staff, your teammates. Can we look at it, can a stranger come into the gym, come onto the field and tell you whether or not they're winning or losing? The reality is there are certain teams that come back when behind, and it's due to a mentality, not necessarily due to athletic ability. Raise your hand if you have been on a team that has won 3 consecutive athletic contests at any point in your career. You've been on a team that's won 3 consecutive. Okay. Raise your hand if you've been on a team that's lost 3 consecutive athletic contests of any kind. All right. So there's an energy that happens during these winning and losing streaks. And, it's about being positive, and yet, we have hundreds of thousands of supporters and believers of PCA all around the country. But once in a while, we'll come across someone who's like, what's this positive stuff? I mean, is that this Little League stuff? Pee Wee football? Because that sounds a little soft. I know you were, born out in California. It must be one of those things. All right? But the reality is everything that happens through PCA is research-based. And there's so much research around the extent to which positivity has dynamic impact upon those around you. That's true for your folks' workplace. That's true for your athletic teams, for your school environment. So PCA talks a lot about tank filling, the emotional fuel tank that all of us have here, and the degree to which all of you as athletes and as leaders have the potential to consistently fill the emotional fuel tanks of your teammates. And at PCA we talk a lot about that when our tanks are full, we work harder, research shows it. Okay, we persevere more. What is more essential to athletic success than the ability to persevere after screwing up, after a tough loss, etc. So in addition, I think when we think about tank filling, we have to look at the degree to which the research shows that just the energy around us truly impacts the behavior of others. So, what's your name, sir? All right. Great to meet you. And this is your mom? Okay. So, can you guys stand up for a second? Can I use you guys as a... Okay, can you guys pretend to have a conversation? All right, and you're just going to kind of gesticulate and perpetrate like you're talking, and I'm going to keep talking while you're having it, but kind of be nice and expressive. Okay, there you go. Good. So, the research by Daniel Goleman out at Harvard, he's written a couple bestsellers about the power of the emotional energy in a 15-minute conversation. Okay? So let's say Cameron is super stressed, freaking out about it. He's got a big athletic contest coming up. The SATs are coming up. He's got an AP bio exam. Everything's on his plate. Oh my God. Let's say his mom is kind of relaxed and cool, calm, and collected as always, right? What actually happens in 15 minutes, their heart rates synchronize. We have no control over that. So suddenly mom is stressed and freaking out too, her heart racing, all right? That's a 15-minute conversation. Thank you very much. Now, it's not just through the way we talk to each other. As many of you know, most of the communication that takes place is through body language. More than 60% of it is nonverbal, nothing verbal at all about it. When we talked about, we've considered those benches. Think about that for a second. The body language that's being given off to your teammates. And that energy actually gets transmitted, even without speaking. So if we were to go over here and take these three folks, pretend you're on a New York subway. Because this research was done on the New York subway system. All right? And let's pretend that, I'm sorry to say, I have some bad news for you. You lost your job today. Okay? In a really, really tough place coming back from the subway. All right? These are three perfect strangers. And I have some bad news for you. You were dumped via text message. I just want to throw this out there. This is kind of nothing to do with PCA. Don't ever dump anyone via text message. Be above that, Okay, so, tough day, but you had a great day. What's your name? Nicole was promoted. She got a huge raise. She's so happy. Okay? But in a 20-minute subway ride next to two strangers who actually never spoke to her, when Nicole gets off at her station in New York City, she's in a bad mood. That is research-based, that the energy around us actually impacts our mood to that degree that without even speaking, we can change the behavior and feelings and emotional energy and that exists just around us. So then we go back to this idea of tank filling. Well, if we know that our body language, the way we speak to each other, can actually impact the way people feel, act, their energy level, are they positive? Well, we go back to this fact that says, well, in a situation where my tank is full, I work harder, I persevere better, I'm more team-oriented. All these things are facts. So go back to your teams and consider the fact, well, to what degree do I have the power to impact the energy level, the work ethic of my teammates? And scarily, parents, this is relevant for the workplace too. That energy, and all of us have been in situations, in workplace situations, in school situations. I mean, student athletes in the room, can you think of a class where pretty much everyone's half asleep and it's just so low energy that you're miserable, there's not a single smile in the room? And the reality is, when you think about, well, what can you do about this? How can you positively impact your team? One of the easiest ways is to smile. It is physiologically impacting those around you. They have no control of the fact that if you smile at someone, they actually feel differently. Their tank rises. Their tank goes higher. And what's easier than that? How about physical gestures? Positive, appropriate physical gestures. Okay? Physical gestures are one of the easiest ways to tank fill. So everyone right now, give two people a high five. Right now, everyone. Okay, now look around. Weird. A silly high five, and people are smiling and seem a little happier. You're less likely to fall asleep in the next 3 minutes. It's terrifying how simple it is in terms of a smile and high five, thinking of other ways to just listen to people and fill their emotional tank. Express basic appreciation is a tank filler. So positive energy is really the biggest takeaway I want all of you to leave here considering, and considering specifically how does that connect with the triple impact competitor. So certainly sports psychologists for 50 years have been talking about, on the first part of the triple impact competitor, making yourself better. Positive self-talk is essential for successful athletic performance. Next, making your teammates better. Well, we've just established through research that in fact you can change the entire dynamic of your whole team by yourself through positive energy that you provide and give, tank filling that you encourage all of your teammates to do, because you can't control that coach. Maybe you can push and prod your teammates, though, to be tank filling and stay positive as well. So you can make your teammates better, focusing on positive energy. And finally, and I remember specifically, I coached girls varsity softball for about a decade. And the team early on started a tradition of, it was kind of a DC situation. We were renting public fields for all of our home games, and we had to line the fields ourselves, kind of old school. So I'm like sitting there with this machine, and it's a little wiggly, and it's not perfect. Did my best, and we finished the lining the field, and the girls would always take the spray paint can, and they would write a big message in front of the opposing dugout. And it actually was a positive message. It was welcoming them, good luck today, have a great game, some smiley faces even, This was pre, a lot of special emoticon abilities that teenagers now have. And it really, really changed the dynamic and the energy of the entire competition. Like the opponents would show up, they'd go to the dugout, they'd be like, what's this? And they'd be like, oh, that's kind of nice. And it would really change the dynamic. That simple little gesture made the game better. That third aspect of who all of you are as triple impact competitors. So please, no matter what happens, leaving today, consider your ability to positively impact your teammates when you return to school tomorrow, your classmates in the hallways, in that, well, for me it was dreaded math class, maybe another subject for you. But finally, this is not something that ends here with high school sports. This positive energy, you have the ability to impact folks for the rest of your life. Thank you. Turn it back to Mark.